And we'll move on now to Chestermere-Rocky View, followed by Edmonton Southwest.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And might we first congratulate the member from St. Albert on asking his first question in this House. My questions are for the Minister of Education, Mr. Speaker. He's not very popular, nor is his government right now, with teachers in Alberta. And the reason is pretty simple. Alberta teachers feel like they have been deceived. They were promised one thing before the election, only to have another delivered after the government got their vote. Everybody in this province, regardless of their political stripes, ought to keep our kids top of mind in these negotiations. If teachers are not respected, it does not bode well for the classrooms. To the Minister of Education, why aren't you listening to teachers?
Hear, hear. Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it's a great question, and I got to say that I am listening to teachers. As a matter of fact, we're reaching out to teachers at every possible chance we get. I've been attending teachers' convention, visiting schools, even sending emails. I've got a binder full of emails back from teachers telling me how happy they were that we reached out to them. Mr. Speaker, it's very interesting that comment would come from a party whose leader says our very best and most skilled teachers are no longer in the classroom, to CBC not so long ago.
Oh.
Mr. Speaker, I'm pretty sure my honourable leader would have been referencing the fact that this government loves to put a lot of teachers in boardrooms instead of classrooms.
Yeah.
Given that teachers have been pretty clear, this is not about money, Mr. Speaker. This is about working conditions. And given that all we really want to do, and all everybody should want to do, is do what's best for teachers so they can do what's best for our kids in return, why won't the minister commit to working with teachers and trying to resolve this?
Mr. Speaker, I'd encourage the member to read the proposals that were made to the ATA. That's exactly what we were trying to do, and I completely agree with him. If he's suggesting that we actually want to impose hard caps across rural Alberta for assignable time, I'd welcome that input, maybe even in this House, but I don't believe that's the right way to go, and it's proven not to work in Edmonton and Calgary. So taking that kind of flexibility out of the system has been the big key rub in this negotiations. One thing that we couldn't bend on, but there's many other ways that we want to look at workload, invest in workload studies, decrease instructional time for teachers, and we're still willing to do those things.
Honourable member.
Mr. Speaker, it's one thing to say you're going to listen to teachers about workload and another to actually do it, and that's the problem that we're having. Given that the minister sent a letter to boards outlining what they can do and what they can't do, what they'd like to see them do in terms of negotiations, given that the minister reached out and sent a personalized letter, which he probably shouldn't have, to every teacher in this province, it seems like he has a predetermined outcome in mind when it comes to negotiations. Does the minister recognize that boards and teachers are finding it tough to negotiate when you appear to have already dictated a settlement to them?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think it's inappropriate for the Education Minister to take an interest in the education system. And the sustainability and the quality of this education system is a great responsibility that I take very seriously, and why we've been working closely with the Alberta School Board Association and the ATA on a whole number of issues. I think it's entirely appropriate that the person or the chair responsible for regulating the teaching profession would reach out to those professionals to talk about that profession.